Welcome to the Rise Up Show, and I'm excited to host today an entrepreneur who started and as a legal drug dealer. Yeah, you heard that right. And who had a couple of trips to jail, but he changed his life and dramatically by taking all that energy and focusing it on something positive, on his greater mission. And I want to introduce today Andrew Sales. Hello, hey Andrew, how are you today?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me on here. I'm really glad we've been able to connect, and it's been fun chatting with you so far. Always getting everything rolling.
Glad to have you here. Really amazing to meet you. So Andrew, can you tell us the short version on who you are?
Yeah, so my name is Andrew Sales. I'm an entrepreneur. I run a couple businesses. I have kind of a crazy story with how I've got to where I'm at. In these days, like you started off with, I started out selling drugs illegally. I sold drugs from 15 to 20 when I was, I got caught essentially. Then I got into door-to-door sales. I was on probation. I ended up getting
Wow.
what we call in the United States a probation violation. They sent me to jail. I got out. I got back in the door-to-door sales, built up. I got another probation violation, went back to jail in 2015 for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's when I got out and really just got to my grind. And, I built, 3 different businesses: door-to-door business, a social media consulting business, and now I have a healthcare business that I'm currently building. So that's my story, man. That's the short to condensed version of it, at least.
Nice. Wow. How did you got from a drug dealer to an owner, to a business owner?
Man, so that's a good question, and I get that question
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
The
because a lot of people that are in that place usually don't tend to get out from that mindset, and they keep on doing the crime and keep on that mindset because it's coming for some poor mindset that they have something, but you got out of it. That's astonishing.
Yeah, so for me in particular, and honestly, being in that industry, I met a lot of other drug dealers. So
Yeah.
most of us had the entrepreneurial spirit and that energy, but a lot of people don't know how to refocus that energy. Like I was
Mhm.
always a hustler, man. I was always an entrepreneur. When I was in grade school, like fourth and fifth grade, probably like 11, 12, somewhere in that age range, I was in the coat room. I'd sell Starburst and candy and stuff like that, and uh, I was a kid that ran a lemonade stand in the summer. So I was always a hustler. And then the progression from, those little grade school hustlers, where I grew up, a low income neighborhood, the next hustle is selling drugs. And, I did that. And there's a lot I learned selling drugs, and I did on a day-to-day basis selling drugs I use in the real business world today. So I did that. And within my network selling drugs, I met real business people, but the real overwhelming thing that's been able to take me from, point A back then to point B right now is really just refocusing that energy and directing it to something that's positive and doing something positive day in and day out. And that's just what moved me along the line, to be 100% honest.
Wow. That's amazing. How did you got out? How did you got into that old dealership?
So that's another kind of funny story, and you don't have to give up too much information. But back when
Yeah,
I was
sure.
15, me and one of my really good friends, we bought our first ounces together, and I didn't even smoke weed. I
Yeah.
decided I was just gonna sell some weed to make some money. So I buy an ounce and break it down to little bags, and as I got older, I saw the potential to really just take over the marketplace.
Yeah.
uh, I just realized that I can get I found I worked I networked, same thing we do in the
Mhm.
business world. I networked.
Same thing. Yeah.
I found people that had high quality product at a good price. They trusted me. I built a relationship with them. Same thing we do in the business world. And when I built that relationship, then I was able to get this high quality product at a cheaper price than everybody else. I was like, all right, well now I can sell something better for cheaper, and I can take over the
Mm.
competition. Well, now my money was flowing in, and then I got to the point to where I can find people to sell drugs for me. And I built up, and just slowly built to where I was from a 15-year-old kid, picking up an ounce every couple of weeks to in my heyday, I was probably selling 12 pounds a week. It's it was
Wow.
really just I ran it like a business. To be 100% honest, man. I was a businessman back then. You know, what I might have been doing was
Mhm.
against the law, but I ran it like
Yeah.
a real business. I had multiple cell phones. I was on it all day. I was on top of my people. There were quotas. You know, you had to get your stuff in on time.
Yeah.
It was a business, man, and that's how
It's
I
the
got
same
involved with
rule
it.
applies. Same rule
Yeah.
applies.
Yep.
Wow. So you went from that to that, from point A to point B, and you were always entrepreneur. You had that spirit inside of you. So what was it that like the shift that you went from this place to that place? Because yeah, it's tempting as a kid to keep on doing that, but people like when people grow, they keep on with the same routines over and over. But you
Yeah.
broke out of it. What was it there like that moment that you got out of there? What was the
Yeah, man,
shift?
and that's a really great question. Another really great question. And what you can really accredit it to start with, like you said, a lot of kids, they start off in that similar lifestyle I was in and they never break out of it. What
Yeah.
I noticed is when, you know, I was a drug hustler, I was around a bunch of other drug hustlers. I'm a businessman now, I'm around a bunch of businessmen. So the key to breaking out, if you feel like you're trapped some spot and you've been trapped there for a really long time, look at the people you're surrounding yourself, look at the places you're surrounding yourself with, look at where you want to be and the people you'd like to be surrounding yourself with. Find a way to surround yourself with those kind of people, find a way to get in those kind of places. And that's how I got out of it. You know, instead of when I got out of jail, instead of going back to the drug dealers, spending time on those guys, the very first thing I did was reach out to my friend that was a businessman and was a regional sales
Mm.
manager, and I asked him if he could get me a job. And then I fell in line with him. When I started working, I started getting around more sales guys. And as I started getting more successful in the sales world and the business world, I was able to get myself around more high level people and learn from them and see what they did and figure out how I could elevate myself to their level. And one of the real keys is, you know, obviously you got to have friends that a lot of people are going to be in your network, going to be at your level, but you want to reach to those people and find a way to, you know, get in their network that are a level above you. And then also, you know, don't forget about the people that you might want to
Mm.
help out that were in your past life that are looking
Yeah.
for a way out that you can reach back to and, you know, pull them up to your level. So it's almost like a 360-degree thing, you know, as far as
Yeah.
getting from point A to point B, because, you know, it is important that you associate with those people above you because they can pull you up. It's important that you associate with people on your level because they know what you're going through and you can still learn from them. But it's also important to reach back to where you used to come from and try to pull those people up that want to get up because they're going to be the ones to also help propel you and they're going to be loyal to you when it comes time for you to level up that next level.
Wow. Bam! That's it. Drop the mic, man. I think we can wrap it. Wow, that was amazing. Really, that's so true. Like when you met someone that, and you also decide, yeah, it was your decision to go out and learn from a lot from the people that have the right mindset, from the people that can lift you up, and then you lift others up. That's truly freaking amazing, man. I
For
just
sure.
love it. And
Thank
that's so true. When the people you surround yourself, that's the mindset that you will have. That's like the 5 rules, the 5 people rule.
you.
When you
Yep.
have the 5 people that you surround yourself, those are the people that you will have the mindset of, if you will like it or want.
Yeah.
That's in your subconscious.
That's a great rule, man, and one of my favorite rules that I teach to brand new salespeople when I bring them on, and because a lot of people are like, man, you know, I want to make more money. You know, everybody wants to make more money, and the very first thing I say, well, if you don't like
Yeah.
your money, look at your friends because it's a proven fact, like the 5 year rule, like or the 5 person rule, like your mindset's going to be the mindset of your 5 closest friends. Your income is also going to be within 10% of your 5 closest friends, the average of that income. So look at your friends. You know, if your close friends are smoking weed and playing video games all day, you're probably doing something similar. Maybe you're not doing quite as much, but you're taking all that time where you could have found productivity somewhere.
Yeah.
So it all starts with the 5 people you're closest to be honest, man. And that's a great rule.
Love it. And how did you start your business? You took someone took you from there, but what was it that you? How did you start it?
Man, so when I got out of jail the second time, you know, one of my biggest passions is helping salespeople and entrepreneurs do better and
Nice.
just find ways to grow their business in general. So I had worked. I ended up working for a really big sales trainer and entrepreneur, and it didn't. It
Mhm.
ended up not working out a long time. But there was somebody that it had reconnected me to. You know, back of that network of your five closest friends. My real good friend, and Bill Rowland's his name. He's my good friend and mentor. And what he did was he negotiated my first contract for me for energy deregulation. And you know that's what got me started in that business. And he really just he guided me. He helped get me going. You know, I built teams within that industry myself and really got it rolling. And he helped get me in front of other, he helped, or I'm sorry, not get me in front of, but connect me with, you know, other highly successful people. And I spent time around these people and I noticed that, hey, a lot of these guys are running multiple businesses, you know, and I was like, man, I could do that. So a lot of people had seen my story on Facebook. You know, a lot of people saw me, you know, get out of jail, and they saw me driving my shitty car around, you know, Illinois is the state I was
Yeah.
working in, and, you know, just building sales teams. And they saw me travel around the country, and it just kind of, I started growing a little social media following because of it. Well, people would reach out to me on social media and ask me for help with their business. And I kind of always turn people down because I was like, nah, that's not what I do. You know, I run a door-to-door company. I just do the social media stuff just to kind of, you know, share with people and inspire. But then
Yeah,
eventually, like, man, I could charge people for this. So, you know, that's
definitely.
how I got into social media consulting. And, you know, every week or so I get somebody that reaches out to me asking for help. But I'm just super picky about who I work with. You know, it's not something I put, like you
Mhm.
said, like, how do you balance everything? Well, with that particular business, I work with very specific type individuals that I know are going to be easy and I'm going to be able to work with easily, and they're going to do what I tell them. And, you know, there's just, you know, not a lot of back and forth. So that's how I balance that business. And then I got involved in this new healthcare business that I'm doing because, again, my good friend and mentor, and I guess another important thing to hit on in success is how important mentorship is. And this little part of my story is really hitting on that. But my good
Definitely.
friend and mentor, he lost his mother to medication sickness actually last year.
Wow.
And that inspired him to get involved with the healthcare industry. And when he came to me with it, it sounded like something great we could do to give back to people and, you know, make a little bit of money doing. So I was all about it and I jumped on board with it. But yeah, that's how I really started my business. You know, like a big part of it, I would say anybody's trying to start a business is find somebody who's done something similar before, and, you know,
Mhm.
try to learn from them. You know, try to get them to make you their mentor. And, you know, you might have to pay some
Yeah.
money to find somebody that will be a mentor for you and help you with that kind of thing. But
Of
if you
course,
got to cough
you
up a
got
little
to
bit,
invest.
yeah, if you got to cough up a little bit of money, it's definitely worth it. It's priceless. You know, and I was very fortunate. You know, my mentor took me under his wing just because he liked me as a person, and you know, he liked my story and my drive. So you know, but I have invested in myself multiple spots along the way, as far as, you know, learning other things, learning how to do social media and really get myself out there.
Mhm.
I spent tons of money learning how to do that stuff, and but it's came back. You know, I don't even know how many fold, but just what I charge my social media clients every month. So yeah, that's how I got involved in the business world and started my own business. I decided one day I was going to take the leap. You know, that working for somebody else, you know, I just always felt like anything they're doing for me, I could do myself. You know, so
Nice.
that's just why I decided to make that leap, and I found a mentor that could help me do that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right because mentors are there to help us elevate ourselves. Sometimes we can't see what we got inside of us, and that mentor is kind of a mirror and also give us a new tools, new things to learn, but it's guiding as a mirror for ourselves, for our true self, the best version of ourselves. And I love that you mentioned that because it's people, if they don't have that accountability, they tend to spread out and
Yeah,
lose themselves. And if even if they don't have enough money, you can always find even accountability body that's
yeah,
in the same mindset and higher that can help you with that.
yeah. If there's a will,
And
there's a way.
yeah, definitely. If there is a will, there is a way. I love it, man.
Yeah.
And why did you start your business from the first place?
Man, so I originally started the door-to-door business because that's what I knew. You know, I got a door-to-door background, and it was
Hmm.
what I got a kid. He's 4. When I got out of jail at that point in time, he had just turned 1. So
Hmm.
you know, I needed to make money. You know, that's why I started a
Yeah.
business, to be honest. But then I've always just loved running a business itself in general. So that's what inspired me to start my own business. But obviously, income is a big part. And the second part of why I do particular businesses that I do is because it gives me the opportunity to work with salespeople and entrepreneurs, which really is my driving force, my passion. I love working with salespeople and helping them get better. I love helping entrepreneurs get better and building their brands and building their businesses. So that's really why I started my business. Obviously I need to make money, I have a family to support, but I found a way to do that doing something that I love. And, that's why I turned it into a business.
And then it's changed the mission.
Yep.
It's not just about the money anymore.
Exactly. The thing is, my overall goal is just to provide value to people. And I just know whenever I provide value, the money follows it eventually. Maybe, and that's one real, note to anybody thinking about starting a business. Just go out and start providing value. Figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
As long as you're figuring out value, you're ahead of the guy that's over there not doing anything. And so just provide value, and money might not come immediately, but if you're constantly providing value, one day that money just starts coming.
Definitely, because you're giving without expecting. You just do it because you love it. You really want to help people. Then you get it in return because don't expect for it.
Exactly.
And then it works like magic.
Yeah, for sure.
And how do you keep momentum and being the best version of yourself? What keeps you driven?
Man, it's really the overall goal. I have big plans like down the line. And I think one thing that people that have a problem staying motivated forget is how much you can accomplish in 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years. And if you got like a 30-year goal, a 20 to 30-year goal, that's huge. Like that's enough to be a driving force for every single day. Because if you've structured like I say, everything's time management. My entire life is time management. Like I have a 20 to 30-year goal that I'm working towards. And then I have a 10 to 20-year goal range I'm working towards. And I have a 5-year goal range I'm working towards and a 1 to 3-year goal range. But all my goals are structured to lead me down my path to hitting that real, long-term monstrous goal that when I tell people, they're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But, like for me, the way I structure my life and the way I'm progressing, I'm like, it makes perfect sense to me how it's going to happen. So it's really just a process, like have your major huge goal, that's going to drive you. Then I call it reverse engineering your goal. Have that major engineering goal, then find out where you need to be in life and what goals you need to hit that are going to satisfy you along the way to get to that goal, and then go backwards and then just live every single day to move you down that process. And you just fall in love with the process, and that's how you stay motivated and keep the momentum going.
Love it. Just one golden nugget, another golden nugget. Love it, man. That's so true, because you start with 20 years goal and then you go down the line. I remember when I set my first vision, it was 20 years from now, and I got overwhelmed by it because it was too much. But then as long as you take it down, like 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, and you really break it down, then it starts to feel real, and you know what you need to do, your action plan kind of.
Exactly. And then if you truly love where you're heading and what you're doing, you're going to love the process of going through the day in and day out grind of it. And that's what it's all about.
You got to do something you love, you're passionate about it. Otherwise, it fades away like that.
Yep.
So what habit that you develop that helps you the most?
You said what habit?
Yeah.
Man, I have, and I say this a lot, but the real habit that I think helps anybody the most is discipline. If you're disciplined, you take care of everything else. You wake up on time. You make your phone calls on time, and I was 5 minutes late for this. We'll be it all. If you're disciplined, you do stuff on time. You hit your deadlines. You hit your goals. Discipline is where it all starts. You're disciplined in your diet. You're disciplined in your family life.
Yeah.
You're disciplined in your entertainment life, and it all starts with discipline. Because if you unravel on any of those things, your family, your diet, your work life, your goal life, your entertainment life, it can all start to have an overwhelming effect on everything. Once one starts unraveling, it just goes. So you have to be disciplined. And well, you know, long story short, discipline is what I'd say my number one habit is for that I'd recommend that people learn.
Nice. Love it. And especially when you start like with one little thing, not everything at the same time, not
Yeah,
like diet and relationship and like one goal at a time. And then
yeah,
you have all that discipline for everything and you got your balance.
yep. I love it.
What was the biggest struggle you experienced in that way, and how did you overcome it?
Man, the biggest struggle for me, man, is just being broke. You know, when I got out of jail, I was just flat out broke. and,
Mm.
and that was a struggle, and that was a big struggle. And I guess and I will talk about two struggles here. There's that, and then the
Hmm.
other big struggle is necessarily figuring out what you want to do, because I think a lot of people struggle with both of those. You know, when I got out
Yeah.
of jail, I was flat out broke, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I took a job at a place called Best Buy doing retail sales,
Hmm.
making $12 an hour, and I hated it. But the
Yeah.
thing was, it was just I was creating some kind of action. You know, I was getting money coming in. And it gave me that money to be able to, when I did jump into door to door and other stuff like that, I was able to have gas money to get out there and stuff like that. But you got to just take action and figure out a way not to be broke, you know. And if you're
Yeah.
like, well, I want to start my own business or something like that, but I work a 9 to 5 and I support my family, I can't figure out I can't figure out how to get this capital. Well, you work 9 to 5. What do you do 6 to 11? And I totally get you got to have off time family life, but it's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal to suck something up for 3 months, 6 months, a year, stack some cash, not be broke anymore, and
Hmm.
invest it in your business. And that's the reality of it. And your family's going to respect you for that. And then the other thing is, you know, figuring out what you want to do, man. Like I said, I had always been a door-to-door guy, and I had a lot of success in it. When I went to jail in 2015, I got out, and I didn't want to get back on the door-to-door because I didn't want to travel. I'd spent 6 months away from my kid and my family, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew that I wanted to do something bigger, and that was the big thing, is just asking myself daily. I don't, you know, saying I know I don't want to do this, but what do I want to do? And then I figured out,
Mm.
you know, I want to help entrepreneurs and salespeople do better. And I was like, well, how can I do that? You know, once I figured that out, and that's the key is, you know, maybe, I was recently helping somebody with this. It's how you structure the question to yourself is what's very important. You know, like, don't even ask what do I want to do, how do I want to make money. Ask, who do I want to help. You know, if you ask who you want to help and figure out the rest from there, you're going to figure out what you want to do. So for me, it was, you know, I want to help salespeople and entrepreneurs. So I was like, all right, well, it was a natural fit for me to get in the door to door, because I can build myself a team of salespeople and help salespeople at the core. And then as I progressed a little bit in my career, it's like, well, I'd like to help salespeople and entrepreneurs on a bigger level. Well, I'm pretty good at social media. You know, I can help business owners and salespeople with their social media. And then, you know, it just progressed and I want to help salespeople and entrepreneurs, but now I'd like to give back to the world a little bit more and pay it
Yeah.
forward since I've had a little bit of success. Well, that's what led me to healthcare, because now I'm able to help more salespeople and entrepreneurs, you know, have a paycheck doing that, but then I'm also able to give back into the world in the process with it. So, you know, those were the two big things I struggle with, is figuring out you know, not being broke. And, you know, that
Hmm.
really just comes down to go out and make some money, cut the bad habits out of your life that you're spending money on, suck it up, do the things most people aren't going to do. And, you know, don't be broke, and then figure
Yeah.
out what you want to do. And the real key to that is just asking yourself what you want to do, but then structuring the question right. And the real way to ask it is, who do I want to help?
Wow. That was like bombed right now. Because it's so true, man, what you just said here. And just the focus on what you want in life, and not giving up. Not giving up, because I'm sure it was tempting to get back to the dealership, because you already know that place, you already know the network, you already know who to sell, what to sell, how to sell, and get the money back like that. But you kept on going, you never gave up to yourself, you keep on going. And of course, I know, I'm sure that was a lot of bumps in the road, but
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
kept on, and you got your focus on with your aim, your ideal client. Like, who do you want to serve? Who you want to help? Not just I want to get money here. Who do I want to help to? And that's the way to go. Because when we're shooting in dark, we're getting so scattered because we don't know who we are aiming for.
Exactly. I love it.
And you hit it. You hit it. Love it, man. What is the biggest struggle your audience experience?
Man, you know, and I guess kind of to retouch on that, I think the biggest struggle amongst, so and I guess my audience is kind of broken, is kind of broken down into two different demographics. You know, like fledgling entrepreneurs, people trying to figure out what they want to do, and people that have been doing it, but they're trying to scale it to the next level. So I think people that are first starting out, the biggest struggle is they just are spinning around in circles, and they don't know how to move forward with their business, or necessarily what they want their business to be. They have an idea of what they want to do, but they don't necessarily know exactly how to make it work. So I think that's the biggest struggle that fledgling entrepreneurs have. And then I think people that have had some success but are trying to scale it, the big struggle they have is making themselves known. You know, if nobody knows you, it doesn't matter how good your product is. But on the flip side of things, if everybody knows you, your product can suck and people are still going to buy it just because you're the guy everybody knows.
Definitely.
So those are my two biggest struggles that I see amongst people is, you know, figuring out what they want to do. And then the people that do know what they want to do, figuring out how to make their brand more aware and more known.
Love it. Love it. Because if your product sucks and you sell it to other people, you will get bad reputation. It will get backfire. And I love that you focus on the people that have that will and want to really be out there, but help also other people. And you pick them. And I want to get back for a second for what you said before. You said that you were broke and when you got out of jail. How did you not get tempted to get back to the place that was familiar and that comfort zone, if you will?
Man, just to be real, I don't like going to jail. So I mean, for me, that's enough to keep me, you know, from being tempted. But I mean, the temptation's there. It's still there to, you know. Now I'm like, man, I could probably do things super big in the drug world if I really wanted to. But you know, in the long run, it's not worth it. In the long run, you know, I get to make a bigger impact with what I'm doing right now, and I always knew that, and that's what kept me from going back, man.
Wow, that's so true. No one wants to get back to jail. But you know, a lot of people that get out of jail do return to jail again because they get out from it's not easy to get out from the comfort zone. It's a place they know, and you got out of that. And you had like this biggest pain to not go back. It was enough to keep you on that same path. And that happens to all of the big mentors like Dean Graziosi, Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins. Every big mentor had that fallen to a deep, dark place. And where in that deep, dark place, that pain actually give us the drive. Pain is not a bad thing. Pain actually give us this kind of a drive to not get back to the same old place that we hate.
Very true. That's spot on.
And I really appreciate that you share that with us because it's not easy to talk about it. I'm sure about it.
Oh, thank you, man.
So
I appreciate
thank you for that.
On here and share with you guys.
Can you share with us like a inspiring moment that you have with a client?
A what moment?
That you had with a client, an inspiring moment that you had with a client.
Oh, an inspiring moment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So honestly, one of my most inspiring moments was with a salesperson I hired last year. And this kid named Justin, he had followed me on social media for about a year, and we had chatted back and forth. And I had talked to him, you know, gave him a little bit of sales advice. I think he was selling cars at that time, you know, and So it's January of 2018. Maybe it was February by this point in time, but I was in Columbus, Ohio, and he video chats me on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, bro, I was living in a small town that was overran with drugs, and I wasn't making any money, so I sold all my stuff and took my money to book a bus ticket to Chicago. I know
Mm.
you know of a lot of opportunities. Can you help me with an opportunity in Chicago?" Well, I'm like, I just have an open office in Columbus, Ohio. How do you feel about Ohio? So that night, he slept in a bus station. The next day, I booked him a bus ticket to Ohio.
Wow.
He went out and trained with me for 2 days, and after that, he did everything I told him to do, day in and day out from then on. And if he didn't hit his goals, he went out and he worked on a Sunday, to make sure he hit his
Nice.
goals. So he was working 7 days a week sometimes to hit his goals. But that guy went from sleeping in a bus station to making $1,000 a week every single week in 2 weeks. And that was,
Damn.
from him, coming and working on my program and falling in and just doing the things we told him to do. So that was, my one of my most proudest moments in the sales world, to be honest, to be able to find this guy that I connected with via social media. And then, he's living in he's sleeping in a bus station. And then the next thing you know, he's working with me, making great money.
Nice. Wow. From being in a bus station to earn $1,000 in 1 week. Amazing.
Yeah. So it was a great turnaround for him.
And he did it with a lot of dedication because he worked on Sundays, 7 days a
Yeah.
week, didn't give up to himself.
Yep.
Love it. That's the way to go. That's the way to go, to not give up to yourself, to say, oh, okay, it's Sunday, so I will rest. Yeah, we have to take some rest and take some, but not like all the time. Not like, okay, and make excuses for that, and I have that, and I have that, and like give yourself kind of discounts, if you will, to lay down and not doing a thing.
Yep.
And can you share with us someone that inspired you to get into the business?
Man, so my biggest inspiration in the business world has honestly been my mentor Bill Rowland. When I very first got into sales, door-to-door sales, I worked for his company. It's called 2020 Companies. He ended up selling it for over $100 million.
Wow.
And at that point in time, he didn't know who I was, and I didn't know him personally, but he ran these big conference calls every week, and he had 2,000 sales reps in his company, and we get on there, and he would just share knowledge, he'd share so much knowledge, and I had never been around anybody like that before, and I'd never heard of these big Tony Robbins or Grant Cardones or anybody like that before. And every week I'd be looking so forward to getting on his calls and just taking notes about everything he was saying. And he'd be telling us about his lavish lifestyle, but then just dropping real golden nuggets of information. And it really inspired me to be like, man, I really could do something like that, And before it was, I always thought I could be a big drug dealer and make a lot of money like that. But then I realized what the business world was, and I got involved in the business world. And to get on a conference call and hear somebody that used to do what I do, just going out knocking doors, and now is running a company of 2,000 sales reps and making $100,000 a week, man, that was just huge to me and just such a huge inspiration. So that was really my driving force and my big inspiration, to get in the business and really just push myself.
Nice. It sounds like an amazing man.
Oh yeah, great guy. You should get him on for one of these.
For sure. And also, it's not easy to go from door to door. It takes a lot of courage and energy to do that and not giving up again.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the end of the interview, and I want to ask you, if you can go back in time, what advice will you give to your younger self?
Man, the advice I give to my younger self, or anybody in general, is just never quit. Never quit. If you never quit, eventually you're gonna win. And that's the thing. There's been so many people that just have counted me short, underestimated me, and they quit. And I just never quit. And that's why I've been able to do the things I do. And if you never quit, it's gonna come together. Just over overwhelming resilience, like the human mind, and humans are so powerful, and people just underestimate what overwhelming resistance to failure can accomplish. Just never quit.
So true, so true. A lot of people quit before the gate into that diamond cave, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's true, because consistency, people, when they see it, when they see that consistency, they want to join you, they want to be with you, because they see that you are a man who walks the talk, or a woman who walks the talk, a person that's really going and acting and being there every time, every day, every week, doesn't give it up. And they want to join a person like that. So I really love that. And if you had like one chance to deliver the one message that will stay written in history, what will it be?
Wow, that's a great question. One chance to, man. So I gotta use a quote that I used to use a lot back in the day, and it's where I've derived a lot of my mindset from.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually the quote from 2020 Companies. Sorry, did I lose you there for a second?
Yeah, you're here with us.
But all right, cool. I thought I lost it for a second.
Yeah.
So it was a quote that I derived, or that came from the very first sales organization I worked for, 2020, and it's really framed my entire mindset of how I approach business, life, sales, anything in general. And here it is: I will become successful while helping others become successful. And I'll say it one more time so people can take it down, but I will become successful while helping others become successful. And if you live your life that way and you help others become successful, you're bound to become successful yourself. And Zig Ziglar said it in the past: you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. So if you help a lot of people become successful, you inevitably will become successful yourself.
Damn right. I couldn't phrase it any better. And Zig Ziglar, amazing. And Andrew, we're in the end of the interview. So how can people know more about you?
So best way to find me is anywhere on social media. I'm on Facebook as Andrew Sayles, AndrewSayles. My brand is called Hustlers Anonymous. We have a page and we have a group called Hustlers Anonymous. I'm very active in the group, and there's a lot of motivation and sales and marketing that gets shared in Hustlers Anonymous. That's a great way to find me. At Close Some Sales, SAYLES on Instagram is another great way to find me. Shoot me a message, reach out. I'm always looking to find entrepreneurs that I'd like to work with to help develop their businesses or scale to the next level. And I'm always looking for salespeople that are looking for a new opportunity to do something new and make an impact and make some good money.
Amazing. First of all, amazing interview. I really enjoyed have you here. And all the links will be in the description below. So people, if you want to know more about Andrew and you want to join him, just shoot him a message, get into his group, get into his Facebook page, Instagram, whatever. And again, really, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you took the time to be here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I had a really good time talking with you.
That was amazing interview. And people, if you want more of this, just give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I will see you tomorrow, and really amazing day and productive one. And again, thank you, Andrew.
Peace out.
Stop video.